Good morning everybody and welcome back to my channel. It might not be morning when you're watching this. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Wavy. This is just Wavy Media. If you're new here, you are very welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for joining me again today in another of our Disney Resort videos from my trip in November. Today we're going to be talking about some of the things that you might not know about the Disneyland Resort. As you guys know, I am very into my history and my behind the scenes of things, and so I wanted to do a video that just highlighted some of those things about Disney history and about Disney behind the scenes here at the Disneyland Resort. And the very first one is right behind me. Today is my Disney California Adventure Day, my first of two that I have booked for Disney California Adventure. And we're here at the entrance. You can see the lovely Festival of the Holidays banner that they've put up because that starts today. But I want to talk about this. Do you see this? This is also at Disney's Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World. And this architecture here actually is replicating the Pan-Pacific Auditorium, I think it is, or maybe Pan-Pacific Theater, which was designed by a friend of Walt Disney called Walton Beckett. And so this is like a Art Deco sort of style, and Art Deco is my favorite style of architecture. And so you've got this here just kind of celebrating the glory days of Hollywood, and then also at Hollywood Studios, which is a park that celebrates the glory days of Hollywood. And so that's tidbit number one for you today, that this replicates an old theater that no longer exists as far as I'm aware. I think there's like one of these structures still left, and then that's all. But here it is, and it's Art Deco-y, so it's really cool. So we're gonna stick with Disney's homage to old Hollywood architecture here in Disney's California Adventure. This building behind me is based off the Carthay Circle that used to be in Hollywood, and it was actually where Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the first ever feature-length animated movie and Disney's first ever animated movie, had its premiere. So the premiere of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs happened in the Carthay Circle, and that building no longer exists in Hollywood, but it has been replicated here in Disney's California Adventure. It is part of Disney history, and now it is able to be part of Disney's present as well, as we can get to see it and what it looked like here in Disney's California Adventure. So this behind me is New Orleans Square. New Orleans Square was opened on the 24th of July 1966, and it is the last part of Disneyland that Walt Disney opened because he died at the end of 1966. I'm currently in the line for the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, which opened in 1967. So Walt worked on Pirates of the Caribbean, but he never actually got to go on it. So if you've been on Pirates of the Caribbean in Disneyland, you've been on a ride that Walt worked on but didn't get to go on himself. He wasn't around for the time it opened. And obviously it was a very sad time for Disneyland, and this being the last place that he opened, like what was going to happen, how was it going to go, and the success of Pirates of the Caribbean helped the Disney company to realize that they could continue without Walt, but in memory of him. I am here at Disney's Merriest Nights in Tomorrowland to do thing number 3 that you might not know about the Disneyland Resort. And you can see in the background, I am standing in front of Space Mountain. Alright, I still have not been on. Space Mountain has a very interesting design. So you can see all of these bars on the outside. And that's because the structural supports for the building are actually all on the outside, which allows Disney to then project on the inside on flat surfaces. So none of these beams are getting in the way of the experience. So I just thought that was fascinating that Imagineers even thought about that, like how to keep the surface flat so that you wouldn't lose out on the experience, or that you wouldn't be taken out of the moment by putting the structural supports on the outside of the building and not on the inside of the building. And then also, it just looks really iconic, doesn't it? So like, it's just a win-win. So that's my number 3 thing you might not know about here in the Disneyland Resort, that this is not just aesthetic, although it does look cool. These are actually the structural supports of the building, and that they're on the outside so that they could project on flat surfaces on the inside. So I'm here at the very start of Main Street USA, just after you come into the park, for our 4th interesting thing you might not know about Disneyland. And it involves the flagpole here. So, kind of 2 things about it. Number 1, this is the only actual US flag. So you can see like US flags on the top of a lot of the buildings on Main Street USA, but those are not exactly. The Dapper Dans are singing in the background. I don't know if you can hear them. Hopefully you can hear me and not just them. So this is the only official flag, and that's because of all of the weird rules that you Americans have with your flags. So those ones are not exactly American flags, meaning that they can stay up all day long and they don't have to take them down. But this one has to come down every evening because it is an official US flag. Now, the actual thing I want to point out is, see how the pole is kind of white except for the very bottom? See that bit there? I'll take a picture of it and I'll put it in here. But this bottom of the flagpole, the Imagineer who was charged with designing Main Street by Walt was driving through Los Angeles when he saw a light pole which had been knocked over because it was crashed into, and he thought it was so nice, this light pole, that he bought it for $5 and he installed it here in Main Street USA, and they put the flag into it. So this is an old light post from Los Angeles that was crashed into, and Disney bought it for $5 and installed it here to put the flagpole into. Interesting thing about Disneyland. Number 4. Thank you, Dapper Dans, for background music. So, number 5 on my things you might not know about Disneyland. Chip and Donald are just about to pass. Look at them here. We interrupted this programming for Disney characters. But yeah, so my number 5 on the things you might not know about Disneyland regards Main Street and the windows. So always a good tip in Disneyland is to look up. Everything that is above usually is themed. So if you look up at the windows, some of them have fictional names, but some of them have names of Imagineers. An Imagineer is somebody who imagined and engineered Disneyland to make it reality. And we've got one here above the Mad Hatter, which is just inside the entrance across from City Hall. And you'll see it right above the Mad Hatter's door entrance. And it says, lyrics and librettos ex extencio. So Existencio, he is the guy who wrote the lyrics to the Pirate's Life song on Pirates of the Caribbean, and also Grim Grinning Ghosts on The Haunted Mansion. And so he is remembered here on a window above the Mad Hatters on Main Street. So I'm not going to show you all of the windows, but I'll show you some of them. This one above Souvenirs and Novelty, which is kind of part of the Emporium, has Elias Disney. You probably know Elias Disney is Walt Disney's father, and you'll see underneath it, it says contractor, established 1895. Elias Disney was a contractor and he established his business in 1895. So nice touch. We've got a horse going past. So the next one is next to Main Street Cinema, and there's this little pink building here. And the windows here, this is the only married couple's windows that are beside each other. So on the left here, you've got Mark Davis, and his says Far East Imports Exotic Art. So he was actually involved in the creation of Jungle Cruise, as well as many other things like the Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean. And then the other one on the right, you're right as you're looking at it too, is his wife Alice Davis, and you'll see hers says Small World Costume Co. She is the person who designed the costumes for the characters on Small World, and so they're remembered here in this window in this little building between the Bookrest and Main Street Cinema in Main Street. And this is the second to last one I'm going to show you, but this is above the Starbucks here, the coffee house, market house, and you'll see it says Orange Grove Property Management. We'll care for your property as if it were our own, and it's got Ron Dominguez, owner, on it. So Ron, if you don't know, was a original owner of the land that is Disneyland. So there was originally, I think it was 19 orange groves here that Walt bought, and the Dominguez family owned one of them. And Ron was just a boy back in that time, and he, as a teenager, worked on the Jungle Cruise as a skipper, and then continued to work for his whole working life here at the Disneyland Resort, and really cared for the property as if it was his own. And at one point it was his family's own. And I'm going to insert the next clip. Isn't going to be a window, because there's a tree from the original property that is still here, and it makes up part of the Jungle Cruise now. So the Dominguez family, who originally owned some of this land, are really still represented here in windows and in trees, which I think is really nice. So I was saying about the Dominguez tree. It was originally on property, and it is still on property, though they have moved it. It's been in a few different places. It's now, if you see the entrance to the Jungle Cruise and come to the end of it towards Indiana Jones, there is a large palm tree high above like everything else. This is the Dominguez palm tree. It was here before Disneyland was here and got moved to being part of the Jungle Cruise. The last door, or window really, but it's on a door, that I want to show you is this one, the Disneyland Casting Agency. It's got Walt's name down the bottom, and then it's in honor of all of the Disneyland cast members who do such a wonderful job making everybody's experience here so magical. So just thank you to any cast members who might be watching this, or former cast members, or future cast members who might be watching this. And I'm glad you guys have a window, because you deserve a window. You do such a wonderful job at keeping us all happy and keeping us all safe. When Disneyland was originally orange groves, Mickey and Donald and Minnie came here with Walt to look at the place, and they met a leprechaun called Patrick Bagara. And his house is still here beside the entrance to Indiana Jones. And so you can see it just here is Patrick Bagara's house. And so he, with his magical Irish powers, is part of what makes the magic of Disneyland work. And so here you see Patrick Bagara's house here at Disneyland, contributing to the magic of Disney. So I'm here at number 6 on my list of things that you possibly didn't know about Disneyland. This behind me is the oldest part of Disneyland, and it's not from here, it's from Colorado. It's a petrified tree, so like a tree that has turned into rock and probably inspired Galaxy's Edge's petrified trees, the Black Spires, which is over that way. Walt actually got this for his wife as an anniversary present, but she didn't really like it, so she donated it to Disneyland, and it has been here since. So this was Mrs. Disney's anniversary present from Walt, and here it still is, part of the magic of Disneyland. So for my 7th behind the scenes here at the Disneyland Resort, I am at the storyteller statue in Disney's California Adventure. So the storyteller statue is like Disney California Adventure's equivalent of the partner statue in front of the castle in Disneyland. And this shows a younger Walt and Mickey when they met on their way to Hollywood. And so they're there with their suitcases. The Imagineer behind the statue, or one of them, Jim Clark, during the pandemic actually tweeted some of the kind of behind the scenes details of this statue. So I just want to show you a couple of those because they're very clever. It's so much detail goes into making a Disney park. They think about everything. And I just want to show you some of the things that they think about by just focusing on this one statue. So let's go have a look. So you can see here, it is a younger Walt Disney than the partner statue. He's on his way to Hollywood. They've both been shined up again during the pandemic, so you can see like Mickey's features in a way that you couldn't before. But I want you to look at Walt's suitcase. So it says Walt Disney cartoonist, his job. And then if you look at his luggage tag, let's zoom in on it there. There's a ticket number on his luggage tag. I don't know if you can make it out. You can, can't you? 12501. So Walt Disney's birthday is actually, his date of birth is the 5th of December 1901. And there it is on the ticket now. And the train that he took, the train company, is actually this train company. And you can see as well that it says Laphogram down the bottom, which was Walt's first studio in Kansas. And then if we look at Mickey's luggage, he has heart boxers hanging out of them, which is very funny. He came on the California Santa Fe Railroad as well. And if you look at his tag, it says 11, 18, 28. And that's because Mickey Mouse's birthday, the first cartoon he was in, which was Steamboat Willie, came out on the 18th of November 1928. And then on the back, we've got Chicago, Kansas City, Missouri, and I can't read the bottom one at the minute. Oh, Alice Comedies. Alice Comedies was one of the shows that Walt worked on before he came to Hollywood. But we've got Chicago and we've got Kansas City. We've got LA, obviously. Walt's hometowns. This, by the way, is the Kansas City Star, and it will be the newspaper from potentially the date that he came here. You can see it says August. He came in August. And the newspaper heading is about President Coolidge becoming president because the previous president of America passed away. Now, we're still missing one hometown of Walt's, aren't we? Have a look at his shoe. Can you see that? It says Marceline because Walt Disney had Marceline in his soul, according to Imagineer Jim Clark. So there's some of the details of the storyteller statue, just to show you how much detail Disney Imagineers go into when they're designing elements of the Disney parks. Just as I'm walking around the park and about to leave Galaxy's Edge, I was just thinking about how interesting fact number 8 about the Disney parks. You don't often see them because there's so many people, but sometimes at night you get to. There's actually like a population of cats here in Disneyland. And the reason that there are Disneyland cats, they might even have their own Instagram, I can't remember, but the reason that there are cats, a population of cats at Disneyland, is to keep down the mouse population, which I just find really hilarious and ironic because the home of the mouse has a whole lot of cats to kill mice. It was all started by a mouse, but the mice are kept out by the cats. Fascinating fact about Disneyland number 8. So I'm currently headed to the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, where there is a particular smell of the water. We call it Disney water. Disney fans love it. I have candles of it. And you can find it on 2 rides here, Pirates of the Caribbean and Splash Mountain. But I'm going to go to another ride just after this and show you where you don't find it. We're here at the Jungle Cruise. The Jungle Cruise doesn't have the same water, that Disney water smell, that Splash Mountain and Pirates of the Caribbean have, because Disney wanted this water not to smell clean, even though it is clean. They actually pump a dye into it to make it look murky and jungle-like. And that also helps because it hides the tracks and the mechanics for the animals to move with. And that dye is actually pumped in through the 8th wonder of the world, the backside of water. That's how the dye gets in and makes it all murky and jungle.
Presenting to you the eighth wonder of the world, the backside of water.
There's loud music, which means something is going on, but I'm here at the castle for interesting thing about Disneyland number 10, which is just in front of the castle right here. So let's go see. So there's people standing on it right now, but I will put in a picture and I will just voice over. So there's a time capsule here from Disney's 40th anniversary that is to be dug up, if I remember right, on its 80th anniversary. 2015 was the 60th, so that will be 2035. That time capsule there will be dug up. So that is interesting thing in the Disney Resort that you might not have known about. Number 10. There is a time capsule here right outside the castle waiting to be dug up on. You'll see it in the thing. You'll see it in the picture, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's the 80th anniversary. And so that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much to everybody who's watching. Thank you subscribers for coming back. I really appreciate you guys. Let me know in the comments below what are some of the top behind the scenes things and history things of the Disneyland Resort that you guys know. What did I miss in this list? What maybe are the things that I don't know that you know? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe to keep the tide coming in, hit that notification bell so that you know the next time I post videos. There is no more Disneyland videos now, but there will be other things. I will link the playlist above to all of the LA 2021 and Disneyland 2021 videos. I will put that above. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow with a Jim Shore collection video. That'll be on the channel tomorrow. And until then, thank you for surfing on a channel that's just wavy enough for surfing. And I hope you have a magical day. Take care, guys.